Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Virgo. If Virgo is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. Okay, knock, knock, knock. Let's go ahead. Let me get a little closer. All right. Wow, this one is messy. This is a lot. A lot of emotions going on this week, Virgo. Ooh, and this one looks like a gargoyle we have here. What is he protecting? Oh, it looks like a little heart. Wow. So right off the bat, we have what appears to be a gargoyle, some kind of winged monster-y thing, protecting this heart. So a gargoyle, if you aren't familiar, were like statues that were placed on buildings, on usually the facade or the rooftop. And these are kind of a throwback to household deities or intelligences that would protect all matter of sacred buildings, domestic buildings or homes, domiciles. And although they would look kind of grotesque, they really were all about the well-being of whomever was dwelling in the building. So I think that you really have, like, I get this feeling of having kind of a real, sometimes hard, rough exterior. You will really go out of your way to let people know that you shouldn't be messed with. Like, you've been through it, you know what's up, and nobody is going to mess with you. You are very protective of your own heart. And you've been through some stuff, I think. I think it could be trauma or, just really, not just, but also really rough stuff, hard stuff. Things that were not easy. And so, you've developed this coping mechanism to really just keep people out of getting into those sacred places within, close to your, what you perceive to be your authentic self, your spiritual being, the soft places where you can be wounded emotionally. And I think that comes out once in a while. It might not be all the time, okay? This might be something that, maybe was more prominent when you're younger, but you kind of have, shed some of it, got it under control, but it definitely is still, it's still part of you, right? We never kind of lose those things. No matter how hard we try to banish them, expel them, maybe exorcise them from our being, they don't go away. But the good news is, I think that when we face these parts of ourselves with empathy and understanding, like really looking at why do I get into this posture? Why do I, kind of tense up? Why am I ready to, throw hands when somebody approaches me in a certain way or speaks to me in a certain way? Not everybody is like that, but some of us are. And I think really kind of looking at those behaviors with care, with understanding, trying not to judge, you know, that, I mean, I think that really is very healing, and, you know, begins the process of excavating more and more the root source of, you know, because these are secondary, secondary things. These are not, you know, this is stuff that is cultivated to help us exist, help us survive. You're not born like that. So let's see, I'm seeing all kinds of stuff here. I mean, there's just so many, and I have a cough drop, so if you can hear it, I'm sorry. I don't want to get to coughing here. Well, I want to look at this one because it looks like a little boat with a sail. And then kind of, I almost feel like it's an island that you're just kind of getting away from, and it's emotional. This isn't an emotional, but also physical space. So I think that there's actually been a movement away from the place that I feel like you were stuck. I don't think that you are feeling so stuck anymore. And I really, really get this strong feeling. I mean, it's very, I can just almost taste it. It's not the cough drop, but almost this kind of, it's like a, it's like this feeling, this taste of fire, of adrenaline, of just like rage, but it's old, right? There's a lot of anger. And I feel like this is, I really, really feel like this is related to somebody in your life that was kind of a masculine role model. I want to say, like, just off the top, and this might be my own relationship with my own experience in life, but kind of, you know, like this feeling of your experience of your father's anger, his rage, being just not having patience, short-tempered maybe, not communicating well with you, not understanding exactly what puts him into this place. And as you grow older, you kind of understand the patterns. When you live with somebody that is, you know, kind of emotionally unstable, has, it verges on abusive emotions or verbal abuse, you know, and maybe physical. I mean, you have a keen sense of the energy in your environment, of people's movements, of what's going on. How are their, you know, their tones, every little thing, right? But I feel like this feeling really, really, you felt very alienated from your family, maybe, but also from the people around you. And I think this is not uncommon among people who have difficult home lives. And this could be a parent that was like this. It could be a grandparent. It could be a brother, sister, whatever. Somebody close to you that lived in your home. But when they kind of just suck up all the air in the room, and everything is about managing their emotions, kind of tiptoeing around them, walking on eggshells. It's something that there's like oddly a lot of shame involved in experiencing somebody like that. You don't want people to know that your household is like this. I think that these kinds of out of control behaviors, emotions, the way people treat each other. I think that this kind of lends itself to a lot of secret keeping, smoothing things over, and just not wanting to cause waves, okay? And I feel that you really have, and I just want to say I like really empathize with this, but I think you really faced the terrible, like this archetype of just the unnameable horror manifested through humanity, through your own family member, maybe somebody close to you, especially when you are vulnerable and when you're learning about the world, you're learning about how people treat each other, how they exist. And so this sets you up for kind of having possibly some troubled relationships in the future, having trouble experiencing, feelings of safety, of self-worth, it's difficult. It's difficult. But here's the thing. I think that, I'm going to look at this one right here. Amongst all of this total BS, just chaos that comes up into your mind. I mean, stress, panic. I mean, to the point where it's physical sometimes. It just pure panic, terror that overcomes you. And it could be the littlest thing that sets it off. Things that don't even make sense. Through all that, you've always had a deep love for yourself. You've had something that it's like a golden strand that you have held on to. Like you've gone through a forest, a dark, dark forest, but you had this little piece of yarn, this golden piece of yarn, and it's, you've kept it to keep your way through. You know where you've been, you know where you're, we maybe don't know where you're going, but you know where you want to go, right? And you're not going to get lost. You're fused. You have heart. You have heart. And nobody's going to take that from you. And as you've grown up, as you've gotten older, as life has happened, people have probably taken advantage of you. I think you've probably, had people say things that have knocked you down a couple times. Maybe you've had to work harder to get to where you want to go. It was maybe more difficult in school, but you stayed the course. You did your thing. You found, you found your way into the workforce, and you, worked your way up, and you're working your way up. And through this, I think that you really have come recently, maybe in the last few years, you've come to a place where there are moments where you are not operating in survival mode. You are not in a mode of self-preservation. And that is weird, right? That's kind of, sometimes you catch yourself and you're like, okay, things are going good. Everything's just kind of, working out. Things are aligning. I've done the work. I've made sure things are lined up and they're going how they're supposed to. I think that you probably have gotten into some kind of management role. Maybe you started your own company. You are a leader and you're a problem solver. You can navigate all kinds of people. You're probably good at delegating. You're probably good at anticipating. You really are the kind of person that is just, you know, brings a lot of worth to your work, a lot of skill. And I think that you are working on having the self-confidence to, you know, make the money, basically, make the money that you deserve for the amount of skill and ability that you have. And I think that's coming together. I really do. I want to look at this one. I really see like this little person kind of pulling this. It looks like some kind of, I don't know. To me, it looks like a pile of stuff, just kind of something thrown over the top and kind of dragging it. And I really think you just have little by little started to build your kingdom, right? Started to build your fortune. And, you know, you've maybe had some help, but nobody has given you any big breaks. You have really done this yourself. You have eked it out. And I think that, you know, people in your life notice this for sure. I look at this, I see this beautiful alignment. It reminds me of just kind of like when the planets all come into conjunction, like what is that called? Like the grand conjunction or the royal conjunction or something, when quite a few of the planets are visible and are aligned, okay? And I feel like sometimes you almost feel like a little off put by like, is this all going to fall out from underneath me? But then you look up in the sky, and maybe this is like literally the sky, or maybe just really looking at your life, and it's like everything is kind of just lined up just so. And there is a brief moment of perfection, and you can really look at yourself and think, I've done this. You know, I came out of hell, some kind of hell, and I really have risen. And I really, I'm looking at over here, and I know it just looks like a jumble, but I see this beautiful, this large, beautiful circle, and it reminds me so much of, and let not forget about this card. We have the universe card, and this is from the Thoth deck. And this is so much about kind of like doing the karmic work, settling kind of emotional debts, old debts. And for me in this situation, I mean, they look similar, right? I mean, you have to use your imagination a little bit, but we have this beautiful circle and just kind of the same similar kind of shapes and right in here. Okay. So it really is like this beautiful, and I look at this, it looks like your own personal altar to your own divinity, right? A glimpse at the cosmic beauty of you as a being, as a intelligent force, intelligent, you know, just powerful. You know, I'm thinking of like a light being, okay? Something like a beautiful orb in a primordial ocean. Just this thing, of just great awe and beauty and self-actualization, perfect alignment. But being a product of complete chaos, right? So order within the chaos, and the knowledge, the cosmic knowledge that is obtained through going through the ordeals, you know, in the mysteries, it's all about these ordeals, these kinds of things that you have to go through, like a hero's quest, right? So I think that you have come to this place where you just really desire to go deeper. You want to untangle the blockages, the things that were put on you that were not your fault. You know, it doesn't make sense why they happened, but they did. And so, you know, this work is done to release the pain, the bondage, the generational abuses, the generational sicknesses. And it really is about that. I really think a lot of times it's about this kind of family karmic debt that one parent passes down to the next child, and then that child gives it to their to the next generation. And I don't think that it's always like it's not a conscious thing. You know, a lot of it's terrible and there's no excuse, but there's also kind of, you know, the conditions of your environment definitely have a big pull on how people perceive the world, what they, you know, wrong and right, and these kinds of things. So I do believe, though, that you've transcended so much of this to the point where it's like you have made the choice, the very intentional choice that you will not pass this on. No, you're going to do that work. You're going to, as I said, settle those emotional debts, those karmic debts. And, you know, this is really, with that universe card, really the theme of, you know, a death and a birth, the alpha, the omega, the as above, so below. All of that coming together and moving beyond duality at the same time. I mean, just really experiencing the spectrum. And I don't know really what that is exactly, because I'm trying my best to get past some of that duality myself. But, you know, I really think that my goodness, it's such a potent, beautiful, beautiful time for you. I do think that when you've done this amount of work, and I almost wonder if this is kind of, you know, been outside of a system, if this has just come to you through intuition, through experience, you just are a person that is positioned in such a way that these things, this path has come to you by nature, right? Instead of a formal system of self-initiation or self-healing. And now there could be different things that have come into play, therapies or spiritual beliefs, different kinds of modalities that you have employed. And that could be definitely, but I really think that a lot of this is just self-driven. And so, you know, I'm in awe of this. And I think that something that would be interesting maybe is if you kind of formulate your own ceremony or your own ritual. And I'm thinking of something that, you know, depending on how old you are, you might remember in the 80s and 90s, and maybe even before that, because I don't know exactly when these came to be really in pop culture, but the physical kind of role playing of a rebirth, being birthed again into the world. Something like this, I think, would be really interesting. I think that it could be very healing. I think it could be cathartic and really affirming to begin this next cycle that you will be going through. And really, I think it's just, I feel such a beautiful, beautiful essence to this reading. The other day I thought, oh, this, I can't remember which one it was, but I was like, oh, this is like my favorite reading I've had lately. Now this one is really my favorite reading. This is, I feel like there's a lot of beautiful energy here. And I want to look at this really quick. Let's see here. We have the L shape. So let's look for an L word that's important. Maybe somebody with an L name. Okay. And have a little eyelash on there. That's good luck. And I think in the next, let's see, about 4 weeks, I think that this will be a really auspicious time for you to kind of formulate some kind of celebration, ritual, maybe, you know, a feast. That's my favorite, is having reasons, creating new feast, holidays, festivals, you know, to cook some kind of elaborate meal, something new, something old, something fun. And, you know, just really enjoy it, commune with those you love, and, you know, just kind of be immersed in congratulations to this beautiful, deep, lasting work you have done. Okay, and yeah, I think that's our reading today, Virgo. Definitely one that I have enjoyed very much. I will mention I'm also a Virgo, so I'm really going to keep this one close to my heart as well. So I want to thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. I'm always so honored to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it's helping me get into the algorithm, and we're slowly growing the channel. And you know, I hope that we will have a lovely community, and you know, I already see that happening, and I appreciate every one of you. If you want to share, comment, you know, I love reading all of the things, all of the messages. Other than that, if you have not subscribed, please think about doing so. You can hit that little bell. It will let you know when the next videos come out. We're on a new schedule. I hit 5K, and I had promised I'm going to be doing 2 readings a day. And so we will be on a schedule of each sign being read once a week. So in the meantime, between now and a week from now, you can watch your other placements, and so your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising, and I know a lot of people like their Venus readings as well. So you know, watch those, take from them what resonates with you, and yeah. Okay, Virgo, we'll be talking again very soon. Thank you, thank you, thank you.